Welcome back. It's time for week 5 now of the GLCC monotype draft league here, and my dragons are approaching a dragon that we elected to not pick up on the team. It's gonna be Dragapult. What a scary Pokemon for my team, man. Depending on its set, I can lose to this thing in like so many different fashions. Of course, we do have some counterplay to it. Most of them are just like blanket checks for all of the different variety of sets that it can run, but there's a chance that if one set is brought, then I can't beat it. And in prep, that was a very, very difficult thing for me to learn and accept. So yeah, I mean, guess I should have picked it up round 1 if I didn't want to end up playing against it. But of course, then Dracagon and his fire squad probably would have picked up Gouging Fire next instead. So, you know, is what it is. That's how the cookie crumbles. Ended up getting the new toy instead of the king of Draft League himself, Mr. Dragapult. So, with that being said, let's see how we're going to try and beat the monotype ghost squad that Mr. Coleasice and his iced out Iowa City have drafted this time. So again, Dragapult is scary. There's also 3 other Pokemon that I'm very worried about. One a little bit more than the rest, and that's going to be Tera, Fairy, Sableye. Sableye is an absolute annoying little guy. What a gremlin. I mean, if you've played random battles and you have a bad Sableye matchup, you know what this guy can do. It's gonna spam screens, it's gonna spam Prankster Recover, it's gonna spam Status, most notably Will-O-Wisp and Thunder Wave to slow down my fast threats and cripple my physical attackers. What an annoying gremlin. I hate this Pokemon so much, man. So, not looking forward to having to face that while it is a fairy type and none of my dragon moves are gonna be able to hit it. And so on top of that, we also have, of course, the horse, Mr. Spectrier. If we nasty plot one time, we probably get reverse swept by this thing. I mean, I hate this Pokemon too. Whenever I am like trying to team build with it, I feel like it never does enough damage, but as soon as I end up facing it, I actually have to prep around it, which is a little bit annoying. The horse can definitely run away with the game here if we let it get a nasty plot off, and so that's going to be very, very bad. In addition, the next mon that I'm scared of is going to be the Gengar. Of course, it has Dazzling Gleam, and it has Focus Blast for my steals as well. And of course, it's going to be a poison type, and so it's going to absorb the toxic spikes that I'm going to try and set up this game. And so if we see Gengar, then that's also going to be unfortunate. But yeah, those are the 4 horsemen of, if I see them on my screen at the beginning of the game, I'm going to rage quit. There you go. So how are we going to beat this team? Well, first of all, in order to combat all of these ghost types, and in order to combat Prankster on Sableye, we're going to have to bring our dark type, and so Roaring Moon is back once again. This time with a little bit of an interesting set. We have Booster Energy Attack as well as Tailwind to make us go faster, so we're not going to be outsped by things like Dragapult, Spectrier, any of the above. And we also have Knock Off, Earthquake, and Dragon Claw for our attacking moves. A lot of these Pokemon that you're going to be see down here are going to be carrying Earthquake in order to not end up activating a weak armor Cerulege, and to hopefully still be doing some good super effective damage to it. In addition, it's also going to be a neutral hit into that Sableye that I was discussing, assuming it is Tera Fairy. And so that's the idea behind the attacking moves here. Obviously, Tailwind only lasts for like 4 turns, so it's going to be a little bit of a tricky endeavor to get Roaring Moon positioned correctly. But I think that if we do end up getting it in the prime position, it's going to be doing lots and lots of good damage to Cole's team. And so next up, we have to get some fat on our side, and in order to combat potential Dragon Darts or Draco Meteor on Dragapult, we ended up going with Terra Steel this week on Dragalge here, holding leftovers to get that residual recovery here. In addition, we also have Toxic Spikes, as I discussed. This is to sort of wear down his big setup threats like Spectrier, Dragapult, things like that. And so I'm hoping that if we don't see Gengar, then these Toxic Spikes are definitely going to help us wear those Pokemon down. And hopefully with those neutralized, we can eventually sort of clean up the game from there. On top of that, we have Haze to again sort of cripple these setup threats. Just another method of making them weaker, as hopefully they get chipped down by that poison. And then of course last two moves, we just had to round it out with Big Stab, adaptability boosted Draco Meteor, and as well as Flip Turn for some momentum purposes here. We have a decent amount of Fizz Def in order to take some Dragon Darts from a +1 Dragapult, and so hopefully we'll be able to live it and then throw off a Draco Meteor and ideally pick that thing off. But there's a possibility it does come with Habanberry, and there is a possibility that Draco Meteor just misses. But yeah, that's the idea behind that. And those 84 defense EVs. Everything else just goes into SpDef as usual. Next up, we have Valkyrie the Cyclizar, and we are once again bringing an offensive set. I am absolutely loving offensive Cyclizar this season, and it continues to put in work throughout these last couple of games. Brought it against Lunar, 2 kills. Brought it against Arch, 1 kill. And now we're bringing it here against Cole. We'll see how many kills it can pick up this time, since it is Choice Scarf, and we're actually going to be able to outspeed Spectrier, Dragapult, and all of those other fast threats. So we'll be able to threaten them with Knock Off, get rid of their items. We also have Crunch. Once the items are gone, then Crunch is actually going to be doing more damage in the late game. In addition, we also have Iron Head to hopefully deal with the Sableye a little bit. I don't really love this because obviously you can just burn me or set up a Reflect, but I had to run a third move here, and it wasn't gonna be Rapid Spins, so it's just gonna be Iron Head this time, and then U-turn to hopefully get some momentum and see what his switch into this guy is. Obviously, if any of his Pokemon are choice locked into a Ghost move, then I can go into Cyclizar for absolutely free, and he has to switch. So U-turn is going to be nice to generate that momentum on my side, since I know that those Pokemon are going to be switching out. Next up, we have Goyo, Gouging Fire. We are itemless this time, and it's a little bit strange, but it's because I'm a little bit scared of his Poltergeist Pokemon. Obviously, I got goobed in week 3 of JJDL way back in the day against Ursaline by a Poltergeist Zoroark, and so I'm scared of that. Of course, I'm also scared of the more traditional Poltergeist users in Bramblegast, Ceruledge, especially if Ceruledge gets set up with like a weakness policy or something like that. So this is going to be our counterplay to that, running an itemless Gouging Fire. And I think that Gouging Fire, with its very, very impressive base stats and this particular EV spread, should be able to put in lots of work anyways, especially considering we have Dragon Dance to boost our speed and attack. So yeah, it's okay to run an itemless this week. We are Crunch for some super effective damage. Earthquake for the Ceruledge, as I mentioned earlier. We also have Heat Crash, which is going to hit the Golden Ghost super duper effectively. And that's just going to be our Gouging Fire. A pretty standard Dragon Dance set here this week. Yeah, nothing more to really say there. Next up, we have Rook, the Archaludon, holding the Assault Vest. We are going to be Dragon Pulse, Flash Cannon, Earthquake, and Steel Beam. We have just enough Fizz Def in order to take a couple of Dragon Darts with Stamina, because obviously each hit of Dragon Darts is going to activate Stamina, and we also have enough natural SpDef between our HP investment plus the Assault Vest to take some Draco Meteors from a Dragapult. So this is going to be the Pokemon that I was referring to earlier with the blanket check. This is going to be our blanket check to the Pult. So realistically, the only move that we need to click here is going to be Dragon Pulse. The reason why I'm not Draco Meteor is because I don't want to lose to any potential substitute, because obviously if I substitute, or rather if Cole substitutes with his Dragapult and then I Draco Meteor. Sure, I may break the sub, but I'm making myself weaker and weaker and weaker, and he can just continue to substitute on me, and then eventually I won't even break the sub, especially if he's like a leftovers variant, and he can definitely continue substituting more than 3 times. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. And so instead, we are running Dragon Pulse just to guarantee that we're killing the Dragapult when it's not behind a sub, and we are breaking the sub over and over and over again. We also have Earthquake, again for the similar reasons. Kill Golden Go, kill Gengar, kill Sableye, all of the above. And then Flash Cannon and Steel Beam just for some other super effective damage, and Steel Beam for a little bit of a nuke in case we need it. And then lastly, rounding out the team with a little bit more fat, as you can never go wrong with all of these Spadef heavy Pokemon. Dragalge, Assault Vest on Solus and Rook this week, all here to stop Dragapult and the Horse and Gengar from running away with the game, and potentially even a nasty plot Golden Go now that I think about it. We are Thunderclap this week just to provide that additional priority pressure that we all know and love from Raging Bolt. And then aside from that, we are also Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, and Draco Meteor. This is almost the same exact set that I ended up bringing to Lunar Echoes match, and there's a reason why I'm bringing it again, and that is because it is a great set. Raging Bolt has a very, very nice amount of natural bulk, and so with some investment, throw an Assault Vest on there, we are living a crap ton of special hits. So with that being said, that's going to be our team to try and take down this very scary Ghost Squad. Good luck, have fun to Cole. You may remember him from actually in JJDL. This is the second time that he's been featured here on the channel, and we ended up picking a very narrow win off of Cole during that league. And so this one, we'll see which way it goes, but I know that Cole's gonna be hungry for his revenge, so definitely happy to get to battle him again in the GLCC. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the battle. I will see you guys there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, week 5 now? Yeah, week 5. Sorry, I'm losing count here. There's been a lot of draft games across a couple of leagues for me. Week 5 of the GLCC up against Cole, and he brought the whole squad I was worried about. But he also brought Bramblegast. I guess it's kind of nice that we don't have to worry about Zoroark and Illusion, but this Bramblegast is going to be a little bit problematic, considering we are trying to get that T-Spike up, and of course Gengar is also just going to be able to absorb it. So, a little bit of an interesting matchup. We do have our itemless Goyo, which should be able to come in pretty reliably onto Bramblegast, considering its main form of damage output is going to be Poltergeist. Right, but other than that, I'm not too sure how we're gonna play around this little brambly bush guy. I am also, of course, wary of that Dragapult and the Spectrier. If Dragapult gets like 1 DD off, I could lose. If Spectrier gets a nasty plot off, I probably definitely lose. And Gengar with Dazzling Gleam is also just gonna be tough. I think that I lead Dragalge still. I don't need a Terra immediately. I'm assuming he's gonna be leading like, he'll probably just lead like Sableye, right? And go from there, right? Maybe try and get some screens up or some paralysis or burns down, something like that. I think I just lead Dragalge, and I can flip turn out if I need. I might try and set up a T-Spike and like invite Gengar in. We see Bramblegast off rip. Okay, interesting. So do I just go hard? Gouging Fire? Because I don't want this thing to like do tons of damage to Dragalge. I need this healthy. Bramblegast into Dragalge does a little bit less than half, so that's not great. And then of course if we just go into Gouging Fire, then we're not going to see that many implications here, so nothing wrong with doing this, I think. So Spikes, so we're going to see Hazard Stack, which is not outstanding here. Let's just go ahead and, should I Dragon Dance one time? I think I'm just going to click Heat Crash immediately and try and get some damage down. I mean, he could just go Sableye, right? So I think I do actually Dragon Dance. I don't want this Sableye to Flash Fire me. That would be bad. Oh, man. Nightshade. Okay. Nightshade. So we are now faster. And does Crunch kill? Because if Crunch kills, then I'll just click Crunch, right? No, Crunch does not kill, so I guess we're just going to Heat Crash here, and it's going to be Sash, which is unfortunate. So we're going to Strain Sap once. I'll just do it again, right? Yeah, okay, that's fine. So then the question is, what do we go into here? So the Bramblegast only got up one spike, which is great. And here I suspect that we would like to Dragon Dance one time. Let's see. So Sableye, of course, can be Swords Dance, anything like that. Earthquake doesn't kill yet, right? And I'm worried about like Endure, Weakness Policy, Weak Armor, something like that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to Dragon Dance once here. And he's just going to Dragon Claw. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm going to EQ now, because Poltergeist doesn't kill me, and even if you are like Endure something, then oh wait, Dragon Claw will just kill me. It just revealed that. I may be stupid. I may be stupid, guys, but we should be able to pick up a kill here, assuming nothing goes awry. And we are now at +2 speed, so we'll outspeed Gengar if it's not Scarf. I think we'll outspeed Spectrier too. And wow, an incredibly defensive get. That is interesting. That is really interesting. That guy ate. That's crazy. That guy absolutely ate. And so what I think we're going to do is just Earthquake again, right? There's no reason for me to overplay here. I'll just take my kill. But wow, I was not expecting that to do so little damage. So we're up 6-4 now, but of course all the main threats are still alive here. These are the exact 4 Pokemon that I'm absolutely dreading. Everything else was like, I can manage it, and so far I have managed it, but yeah, interesting. So definitely a little bit strange as to what these 2 Mons were doing here, but yeah, I'm not sure how that absolutely ate. I'm really interested in that. I mean, the Sableye it wasn't Weakness Policy, which was nice. I'm guessing it was just like a check to Gouging Fire somehow, because obviously I'm assuming that it was going to be Flash Fire and just like a hard check to Gouging Fire. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, as you can see, no Shadow Sneak to finish me off, in which case I probably just would have gone into Scarf Cyclizar or maybe into Roaring Moon and try and set up that way. But yeah, I'm not too sure what the Sableye was cooking up, but it did manage to get my Gouging Fire very, very low, and so this should just be a free kill for whatever wants to come in, except for I am also at 2 times speed. And so we see the Sableye. Interesting. So obviously we could be Terra Fairy. That's probably the most likely scenario, right? And so I'm just going to throw this into the calculator, and I think that what I'm going to do is just end up Heat Crashing, but let's just make sure I'm not doing anything dumb. Yeah, it looks like Heat Crash should be my best move, of course. If we're Terra Steel, then this actually has a chance to kill, but I kind of doubt that that is the case. He could also just not Terra right now. Oh, he says his Terra type is also wrong. Oh, and a crit! Oh no, I'm sorry, Cole. Damn, that crit mattered. That never killed. Oh no, Cole has been having a very, very unlucky season, and it's gonna continue with that crit. I'm really sorry. That's never how you want things to go. I'm terribly sorry for that. But we do see the Dragapult come in. Very scary Mon. I have to go for damage. I'm assuming it's not Scarf, because if it was Scarf, it should have just come in previously. If it was Scarf, it should just come in previously. Man, I feel so bad. Cole's been having such a rough season, man. So the question is, do I just crunch this, right? I mean, if it's Colbur, it's Colbur. Oh, or Sucker Punch. Okay. Alright, interesting. So I think that I can just go U then and start clicking the funny buttons here. Oh, what? Oh, I'm slightly idiotic. This must... I think I also have the wrong team. Oh, no. Yeah, this is not quite right. Let's just go ahead and Dragon Pulse here. We see Gengar come out. Gengar's fine here. I mean, if it's gonna Focus Blast, then we'll just go Dragalge here. Well, I mean, should I still try and get my T-Spike up? I think I should, right? This should absolutely eat everything here. Focus Blast is gonna do 0. Great. Now then, what are we doing here? Should I just drop that Draco? I'm worried about like getting reverse swept by like Dragon Dance on this or something like that. And so I think I want to get my T-Spike up here. Oh yeah, he is just going to switch out, but we are inviting the Gengar back in. So I'm just going to Terra Steel and Draco and try and kill this. Dragon Darts is going to do nothing here. Draco should kill. Alright, never mind. I take it back. Draco doesn't kill, but I'm okay with that considering we got that very unfortunate crit on Cole earlier. And now Dragapult is going to go down. So what I think I'm going to do now is I'm assuming Gengar's going to come in. Right? And absorb my T-Spike. Or maybe Horse just comes in and nasty plots on me because I've lowered my special attack. In which case, I think I go Raging Bolt. Or something like that, right? I mean, now Focus Blast does kill me. Which is not spectacular. So I guess what I can do maybe is just go into Raging Bolt. Let's see this calc here. Yeah, and it looks like it's not going to be doing a ton of damage here. And so I feel okay about just going Raging Bolt and then maybe pressuring with Thunderclap. Focus Miss unfortunately decides to do its thing as well. That is the unfortunate consequence of having to run that move, and I understand why Cole is running it. He has to beat a Cyclizar as well as a Roaring Moon and potential Archaludon, so it makes sense to run it. But you hate to see those misses, man. You hate to see it. And let's just go ahead. Should I actually T-Bolt? Is that a play I can make? Because I don't need to Thunderclap on a switch, right? I think what I can do is I can probably go... I can probably Volt Switch, right? If I Volt Switch, this thing never kills me here, then I'll kill it. And then it'll be Spectrier versus 5, including my normal type if it's choiced. Interesting. So I think that I'm just gonna Volt Switch. This should be correct. And man, it misses again. I'm sorry, Cole. Very unlucky game for Cole so far, as my one singular miss ended up not having much implications on the game, as Dragalge is still alive and kicking. So I guess what I should do is just go into Scarf Cyclizar and try and knock. Or I can go into here maybe and hope do I live a Draining Kiss? Let's see. Yeah, it looks like I am going to live a Draining Kiss from Spectrier. And I can go into Roaring Moon. I can go into Roaring Moon here. Photosynthesis attack, that's fine. That's good, actually, that's what I wanted. I'm always worried about Photosynthesis somehow proccing the wrong stat, so gotta always triple check that in prep. It would appear that... should I just knock off here? Yeah, I think I do just knock off here. We're enduring. Uh-oh. We're enduring. Okay, and we knocked off the Slackberry. Okay. Thank goodness for that. So we're just going to knock off again, and that should be game. A very, very unfortunate one, again, for Cole. Man, that sucks. I'm terribly sorry for Cole. That was not a clean game, and I was expecting this to be much closer either way. And so, unfortunately, the RNG gods were not in his favor, and you hate to see it. You absolutely hate to see it. Draining Kiss is going to do a lot, but Knockoff should proceed to get the kill here, and it does. Spectrier goes down, and we end up winning with a whole lot of luck on our side. A very, very tough matchup, I think. Drop some GGs in the chat for Cole. Sorry about that luck. Very RNG game. Yeah, but I guess that's somehow sometimes the way that Pokemon sort of works out, right? I mean, you've got all these moves that have potentials to miss, you've got the random crit chances and everything like that. There's gonna be a lot of luck involved, but you hate to see it get involved that much, and you definitely hate to see it only get involved on one side. And so once again, very, very sorry to Cole, but your Seattle Slashers are going to pick up a very nice 5-0 victory here. Yeah, coming off the back of some unfortunate, I guess, sets that were incorrect for Cole, and again, all of that terrible, terrible luck. So I will see you guys in the next segment and break down what happened in this game. Alright, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We move up to 4-1 now on the season, so climbing up the ranks here after a very, very unfortunate Hacksfield game here against Cole. So I think that Cole mentioned he had some sets that were a little bit different. He sent like some one paste of what was actually brought and one paste of what should have been brought. And so this Sableye was initially going to be Terra Fairy, and it was instead Terra Steel. And so knowing that I was clicking Heat Crash on Gouging Fire, he opted to not Terra, and then I got a crit anyways, which sucked, because that by not Terraing, he definitely would have lived. In addition, this Dragapult was actually going to be Dragon Fang, just to boost its dragon damage output, and yeah, it was actually Choice Scarf, and so that's why you saw it click Dragon Darts twice into the Dragalges, because it couldn't click anything else that it wanted to. So that's unfortunate on Cole's part that some of the sets were not what he intended them to be, and also unfortunate that I proceeded to get very, very lucky throughout the whole game. But with that being said, let's just go ahead and start the real running here. So we see Bramblegast open up, and we see a lead spike come out, which I was a little bit concerned about, considering that I don't have Rapid Spin on this Cyclizar, and obviously any hazard that Cole decides to get up, he can spin block for days, even if I did, because his whole team is going to be Ghost type, so that didn't even matter. And so I knew this spike was here to stay, which was unfortunate. But we're just going to Dragon Dance up. I figured that if he gets a second one up, it's not even that different from having one up, and we're going to Heat Crash, see Strength Sap come up. It's going to go all the way back up to full, and I'm going to Heat Crash again. I'm pretty sure that this was actually a roll to kill. It was pretty heavy in my favor, and I ended up getting that roll, which was nice. So Bramblegast is going to go down, and we see Voorhees the Ceruledge come out. What a cool Pokemon. I love Ceruledge. Dragon Claw comes out, which surprises me, and so I decide to just attack it, and somehow we end up absolutely eating. Now this is like a maximum Fizdef sort of Ceruledge here by the looks of things, because it absolutely ate that, and in addition, I was expecting it to like proc a weakness policy when I saw it eat, but fortunately it didn't quite do that. And weak armor, I believe weak armor actually only activates on certain types of moves, including dark, which is why I wasn't going to click Crunch on this guy ever, and that's why I had Earthquake in the first place. So we end up giving this Ceruledge no boost, which is great. And also I realize now I'm kind of silly. One of the fellow coaches in the GLCC, Mountain Man, or should I say Gym Leader Flanagan, pointed out to me after the game, asking why Gouging Fire was itemless, and I said, well, it's you see, it's for Poltergeist Ceruledge and Poltergeist Bramblegast, right? That's really cool to run itemless. I mean, and he was like, yeah, that's cool, but why would you not just run Booster Energy? Because it gets consumed since this is a Paradox Pokemon. And yeah, I'm a little bit silly for that. So next time we're going to be running the Booster Energy on a Paradox Pokemon if we're scared of Poltergeist or something like that, instead of just running absolutely zero item at all. So definitely a bit of an oversight on my part. I'm feeling pretty silly about that now, considering it's very, very obvious. But yeah, not too happy about that one. But that's okay. We're just going to go ahead and keep the reel running. Dragon Claw one more time. We don't see a Shadow Sneak on this guy, and so Earthquake is just going to kill. And now Heat Crash with the unfortunate critical hit into Sableye. Can I pause here and not highlight everything? Yeah, you hate to see it because, gosh, I mean, the Sableye definitely lived one, and I'm assuming that it would have set up either a Reflect or it would have instantly just killed me with Foul Play or Knockoff or something like that. But unfortunately, I did end up critting through that. There was absolutely no roll where that Sableye dies normally, and so that crit certainly mattered and feels bad. Unfortunately, now this Dragapult has to Sucker Punch me, which again, because this is Scarf and not the item it should have been, which is Dragon Fang, it's actually going to lock itself into Sucker Punch, which you hate to see. Of course, I don't know this at the time, and so I'm just going to end up going into Arch, fearing a Dragon move, and we're going to Dragon Pulse to try and take out Dragapult. Gengar ends up eating it though, and we're just going to go into Smoke so that we can choose some special hits from this Gengar. And now we're going to go ahead and get up a T-Spike because I'm fearing these guys end up like reverse sweeping me with the right sets. Terra Steel into these Dragon Darts makes it do nothing. It makes it do nothing, in fact, that even though we missed the first Draco Meteor, we can actually go ahead and just instantly fire off a second, and that is going to take out the sadly Choice Scarf Dragapult here. Gengar's going to come back and absorb the T-Spike. Raging Bolt comes out now. This is another special wall. I knew that a lot of these top threats were going to be very special. Obviously, Dragapult can go either way, but Spectrier, Zoroark, Gengar, they're all special, and so I had a lot of special fat on my team. Gengar goes down now, and Roaring Moon is going to clean house here. We do see this Endure Salakberry Spectrier, which I think is pretty cool. We talked a little bit about, like, why didn't we eat the Salakberry before we got knocked off, because I knew that like when you eat the Colbur Berry or when you proc the weakness policy, it'll actually get activated by knockoff, but I guess Salakberry is not the same because it checks the HP, and the HP check comes after the knocking off of the item, and so since the Salakberry was knocked off, there was no more reason for Pokemon to check the HP of the Spectrier, and it was in fact in the right range after enduring, so that is too bad, because if this got a speed boost, then I don't think I get reverse swept here because Solus and Rook are still bulky and in the back, and this horse hasn't gotten off a nasty plot yet, but it could have definitely taken down my Roaring Moon and threatened some real damage, maybe if it crit through these guys, which gotta give Cole a chance at some point considering his bad luck. Yeah, I mean, there was a way out if the Salakberry did end up activating, and so I probably should have maybe tailwinded here in hindsight, but yeah, I don't know. I figured that just going for the knockoff and going for the kill was the better option, and we end up taking the kill anyways due to how that mechanic worked, and we end up once again winning, putting us at 4-1 on the season. So yeah, that one doesn't sit too well for me. I always hate these very, very luck-based sort of games, right? I mean, the very first time that I played Cole, there was an unfortunate crit at the very end, but fortunately we were able to deduce that it actually didn't matter, and that made me feel a lot better. But a lot of the critical hits and some of the sets being mixed up on Cole's end really did end up mattering for this battle. And so I'm sorry that we can't get a clean battle between the two of us, Cole. But yeah, that's just gonna be the way that the cookie crumbled this time, which is unfortunate. That's just how it is. So once again, going up on the rankings, I think that we're probably like 4th or something now, because it's pretty top heavy, the rankings in GLCC here. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I think nothing more to really discuss here, and so with that, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everyone, and go Seattle Slashers.